Welcome to this edition of Chelmsford High School's Lions Pride. Let's meet our deans and our students of the month. Now I'd like to turn it over to Dean John MacIsaac, the Dean of Whittier House, to introduce his students of the month.
Thank you, Principal Murray. Our first student of the month is Pranav Abburi. Pranav is currently enrolled in AP French, AP Literature, AP Psychology, AP Environmental Science, and AP Calculus BC. He's a member of the National Honor Society, the National English Honor Society, the National French Honor Society. Pranav was also the recipient of the Harvard Book Award last year for being a highly ranked junior in his class. Outside of the classroom, he's very involved. He is the co-president of the Investing Club. He is the president and chapter officer of the DECA Club. He is the treasurer of the class of 2025. It's been a very busy fall, prepping us for the upcoming events this year. He's been a member of the varsity swim team, the math team, class reps, and innovation pathways here at the high school. Outside of the classroom, Pranav is even busier. He's been elected as a student leader for Bank of America. There's only 315 students in the nation that were chosen for this role, and he's one of them. He's a member of the Massachusetts Society of Certified Public Accountants, so that's good to keep in mind. He's also volunteered at Leahy Hospital, and he's a member of Project 351, servicing the area communities. Outside of that, he's won numerous awards, a lot of them through the DECA program and business things. He's performed very well at the state level and at the national level. Next year, Pranav plans to attend a four-year university and major in business, specifically finance or economics. Pranav, welcome.
Thank you.
When I think about business here at the high school, obviously we have our few teachers up there, but then you're the next person who comes to mind. What has kind of led you into like the business field, the business world, and kind of piqued your interest to study that in the future?
So entering high school, I actually didn't really want to go into business. I used to be really sciencey centered, and I really didn't think of business as a career for me in the future until I joined DECA. In my freshman year, I slacked off, so I didn't do too well in the club. And then by my sophomore year, I eventually qualified for internationals, and then I did so my junior year. So I started to understand what the business world was all about. And I started to think of, hey, this is really cool. I really like conversing with other people. I think that dealing with money is honestly kind of a really cool nuance. And I was like, maybe this is the right career path for me. And so I've been looking at it as, a way to explore sort of, the socio-economic ties between different people and sort of how the world works under a system of money and under a system of business in general. But yeah.
Awesome. So what made you decide to join the DECA Club? Especially if you weren't that interested in DECA, like what made you take that leap?
Yeah. So coming from McCarthy Middle School, I was like, I've done science, competitions beforehand. I want to look at different competitions. I found out the different other competition clubs, weren't for me, and I saw DECA, and I was like, this is really cool. It's something I've never sort of seen before. That idea of role playing in front of an actual professional in the field was really enticing. So I was like, hey, I'll give it a chance, and by giving it a chance, it really worked out.
Awesome. Outside the state competitions, where have you gone for competitions?
Yeah. So my sophomore year, I went to Orlando, Florida, and then in my junior year, I went to Anaheim, California. Right. So yeah.
If you qualify this year, where are nationals or internationals happening?
Internationals would be happening at Orlando, Florida again.
Okay. Same location?
Yeah, same
so
location.
Are you going to go back or?
Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, good luck. Outside of school, a lot of like service-based club. Project 351 is something you don't hear very often.
Yeah.
Tell us what that is and like how you got involved with Project 351.
So Project 351 is a youth empowerment organization, and what they basically do is that they choose 8th graders from each of Massachusetts' 351 towns. That's where the name comes from, and they engage them in service through a year of ambassadorship. We have fall service, spring service, 9/11 tribute service, and all those sorts of events. And I had the pleasure in my 8th grade year being chosen by Principal McPhee at the time to sort of join this organization. And then from there, it's been a family I could never escape. And now I'm mentoring other 8th graders, and I've made lifelong connections through service and helping out my community that I forever cherish, and it's been incredible.
Last year actually was graduation as a class marshal.
Yeah, as a class marshal.
Was that the Project 351 event?
Yeah.
Some of you kind of came and got to do that, which is awesome. The Bank of America leadership, ambassadorship, what is that?
Yeah.
What's that all about?
So every year, Bank of America has two main charitable donations as a bank, or charitable programs as a bank. One of their hallmark programs is called Bank of America Student Leaders. What they basically do is that they choose 315 students from around the nation, and they pair them with a local nonprofit. For me personally, I had the pleasure of working with the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence through some incredible work, learning the nonprofit world, learning what it actually means to be running a nonprofit. I worked in the administrative office, I worked with the kids, I sort of did everything, and I really am grateful for that experience. But more importantly is that they also take us out, or fly us out to DC for 1 week, where we have sort of this meeting of every single student leader, where we learn a little bit about our history, discuss topics, government issues, and honestly, it's been a surreal experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say our time is up, believe it or not. 5 minutes went by really quick.
Yeah,
so on behalf of the Chelmsford High Administration and the Rotary Club, congratulations on being one of Whittier House's September Students of the Month. Really proud of you.
Thank you.
Best of luck this year.
Thank you.
And now I'll turn it back to Dean John MacIsaac from Whittier House to introduce the second Student of the Month from Whittier.
Thank you, Principal Murray. Our second student of the month is Saleem Gadiri. Saleem is currently enrolled in AP Calculus BC, AP Literature, AP Physics C, AP French, AP Computer Science A, Money Smart, and Robotics 2. Salim was a recipient of a CHS Book Award last spring for being one of the top-ranked juniors in his class. He was also recognized as a class marshal, as one of the top 2 ranked juniors in the Whittier House. And then he's also a member of the National English Honor Society and French National Honor Society. Outside of the classroom, Salim is very busy. He is a member of the CHS Math Team, the CHS Middle Eastern Club, the CHS Coding Club, and he served as a freshman mentor here at the high school for our current our current 9th graders, but we're 8th graders. Outside of CHS, he likes to do some work. He's just hobbying in programming and coding, which he's taken that class this year. He also likes reading books. After life at CHS, he's undecided on where he'd like to attend, but he's interested in studying physics or astronomy, with hopefully eventually earning a graduate degree or a PhD. Salim, welcome.
Thank you.
I see astronomy. I have to ask right away, how do we get to astronomy? I think it's very interesting. We don't see that very often. So what led you to like astronomy?
So when I was, let's say around like 6 or 7, I don't remember how I got it, but I got like my parents got me like a big book on space. I just found it like really just magical. Just looking at all the different planets, stars, black holes, galaxies, like it really piqued my interest, and like I was interested in astronomy from that point on till today.
Have any of the classes at the high school brought in any astronomy, especially science classes that you've taken?
In like AP Physics 1, we talked about a bit of like gravitation with like orbiting bodies, like moons orbiting around planets and stuff. So it was interesting to study that. Nice.
My son is studying for a science exam, 5th grade. Shadows, moon. I'm going to have, maybe you can tutor him and get him some extra studying. Beyond that, so clubs here, you do a lot of clubs. Out of the 4, what are the things that you've really enjoyed? What's your favorite club, at least right now, and then what do you look forward to in these clubs?
I'd say my favorite club is the coding club, because we can bring in, because there are a lot of different people who come. There are some people who are like very like experienced in programming, and there are some people who might want to like learn more about it for like the first time. So we get to help like the new people like learn programming, or with the more experienced people, we can like set up like projects and like different like programming competitions for them to compete in.
Awesome. Who is the advisor for that this year?
This year, Ms. Kong is advising.
Ms. Kong, was Ms. Keener-Bell last year?
Last year, it was Mr. Martinez.
Good. Does Mr. Martinez still play a hand in like helping the students, or is it Ms. Kong doing all of it?
For now, it's Ms. Kong, but
Good.
Ms. Martinez could play a role in the future.
Good. What languages are you learning in the coding club?
Oh, primarily Python.
Okay.
Most of us are like have some level experience with Python, but we'll see if like with the new members that show up, they might be experienced in like other languages, and we'll adjust as necessary.
Okay. You've listed Mr. Shea as a teacher that you think very highly of here at the high school. I'm assuming you've had him in class, right, as a teacher. What led you to pick him as your teacher of record for that? So
I had Mr. Shea as a sophomore in Honors English, and as a junior again in AP Language. So like before I had him, I didn't really like think too highly of like English as a class. Like I thought it just like wasn't like for me per se. I didn't really see too much value. But like I remember like beginning of sophomore year, he taught like he had us read Catcher in the Rye, and like the way he talked about like the symbolism like in that book, it really like resonated with me, and it made me understand like why we study literature. And he's done that for pretty much every other book that he's taught us. So that's why he holds a special place in my heart.
Any competitions coming out for the math team or even for the coding
yeah.
club? What's happening with those?
So for the math team, we have our first competition, the MML, on October 10th.
That's coming out soon.
Yep, yeah, so it's pretty soon. We have the American Math competition, the AMC, on November 6th.
Awesome.
And we're not quite sure, but we're hoping we'll be able to attend the Harvard/MIT tournament later this winter. So that's a pretty big deal.
Good luck, yeah. That's great.
Well, believe it or not, our time is up. So on behalf of the Rotary Club and Chelmsford High Administration, congratulations on being one of Whittier House's Students of the Month for September.
Thank you.
We're really proud of you and wish you the best of luck the remainder of the year.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Dean Erin MacNeil, Dean of Emerson House, to talk about her Students of the Month.
Our first student of the month for September is Joselyn Pica. Jocelyn, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We are so proud to have you as one of our first students of the month this year. You have done so much for our school community. Can you talk about maybe what's the one event or group or club you've been involved in that's really shaped your time here?
I think the one group that I've been involved in that really shaped my time here would definitely be the Crescendos. I didn't go to a Chelmsford school prior to high school. I went to a school in Lowell, and the defining thing about Chelmsford which was what made me want to go was their a cappella groups. I really only knew about the Thursdays. I didn't really know about the Crescendos, but my mom would tell me like, oh, look, Chelmsford, they went to New York. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. And obviously I didn't get to do it my freshman year because I came from a different school, but when I started it my sophomore year, it was just a completely different experience for me. I mean, I came into this school not really knowing a lot of people, and the Crescendos really just changed all of it for me. It's so cheesy to say, but they're my found family, and I've discovered a lot of myself through my time being in the Crescendos and how I connect with music and how I can use music to connect with other people. So I think the Crescendos definitely have had the biggest impact.
Good for you. You take a big caseload. What is, think of other courses you've taken and are currently taking, what is one course that stands out that you say, every kid should take this, I loved it?
This might be a controversial thing to say, but definitely AP Chemistry.
Wow.
I guess maybe I'm biased because I love chemistry, but I think it's a really good experience to have, especially if you've never really been challenged in something. I feel like being in a class that's so challenging can help you develop skills that you will need like in college, but also in future endeavors. Like I developed a lot of really good study habits from AP Chemistry simply because I had to do it in order to succeed. And also, a lot of times the classes are very small, and so you have a really close relationship not only with the teacher, which is usually Dr. Chowdhury, but also your peers. Like all of the students that were in my class last year, I say hi to them in the hallways. We talk still. We talk about how much we miss AP Chemistry. So definitely AP Chemistry. It's probably an unpopular opinion, but I loved it.
For you.
Jumping off of that, I know next year you're hoping to go the pre-med track. Has that class played any part of that, or did you always know you were going that way?
I always knew that I wanted to do something with science. I would make up little experiments in the kitchen at home. So I think chemistry kind of just made me realize that that was the subfield that I wanted to go into specifically. I had always been, yeah, I want to do science, but I never truly knew what. But taking chemistry made me realize, okay, this is what I understand. This is what I think I could see myself pursuing. And then over the summer, I was kind of stuck there. Like, yes, I like chemistry, but what would I do with it? And so I started working at Kumon, which is a tutoring company, and I realized how much I loved working with kids. And there's a certain student, her name's Michelle. She is one of the most incredible people I've met. She's 7 years old, but she's incredibly smart, and she's paralyzed from the waist down. And so she's still she's in like physical therapy to kind of see if she can regain her motion in her legs. And so every day I kind of ask her like, hey, how's it going? Like, are you getting better? And I realize that that's kind of what I want to do. I want to be able to talk to younger children and make them feel more hopeful for their future, even though it may seem like there really isn't much for them because of either a disease they have or something medically related.
Well, that's great. Well, I'm going to say that it was great hearing from you, great interviewing you. I want to say that on behalf of the Rotary Club, which sponsored the program, and the administration at Chelmsford High School, congratulations on being one of Emerson House's Students of the Month of September. We're proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Best of luck the rest of the year. And now I'd like to turn it back to Dean MacNeil to introduce the second Student of the Month from Emerson House.
Our second Student of the Month for September is Joseph Evans. Joseph, thank you for being here. As I said before, I'm super excited that you're on this side of the camera, as I think I've told you for 2 years now I was going to get you here. You've been involved in so much here with the Telemedia Club and your high academics that you've done. But besides your classes and the TV studio, what else can you think of that's made such a lasting impact on your time here?
I would say another club I'm part of is Give Club. I joined it my junior year. I wasn't really part of it as an underclassman, but it's been so impactful in kind of how I'm kind of doing more than just the one club, the school things. Recently we went to the Harvard Square homeless shelter and we prepared meals for the community served there. I've done work through Give at the Little Wish Project. We did a walk for hunger in last May. So it's really just all these opportunities outside of the Chelmsford community to really kind of help the Massachusetts community and more kind of improve.
You do a lot of community service, and as Dean MacNeil said, you're also solely really invested and involved in the Chelmsford Telemedia. Do you see that moving in your future? Any parts of that going in your next stage of your career here?
Definitely. So as part of CHSTv, I joined it because my sister was in it. It sounded fun, but it's actually helped guide my career path. I'm looking into sports production, going into college, past college. That's behind the camera work for live sports games, maybe in the truck working on audio, replay, things like that.
That's cool.
What would be your ultimate dream to work for? Like which organization?
I personally am a huge fan of soccer, so I'd love to work in England for the Premier League as a replay operator or something like that.
So cool.
Oh. So thinking about at the end of this year, I know it's still a little early in the process, what are some things you're thinking about next year in terms of schools and majors you might be looking at?
I'm looking at some schools, University of Toledo, University of Rhode Island, Iowa State. The bigger schools that have larger sports programs usually back a lot of student opportunities for kind of live streaming those games. So I'm looking at some of those places to, for my college education.
That's really good for you.
If you could look back, Joe, of say see your freshman self, is there any advice you would give your freshman self now?
And advice I would give to any freshman is to find your people. I did that with CHSTv. There's an amazing group of people here, and there's so many communities you can join. And even if you're only part of 1 or 2 clubs, if those clubs are very meaningful to you, it can mean so much more than dabbling in 5 or 6.
What do you see when you go to college, aside from TV studio? Was there any club that you'd want to join or think you want to? That you do a Give Club here. And what do you do in high school? I mean, in college, after you're done your studies?
I did a community education class in Chelmsford that was on archery, and I really loved it. It was just totally out of the blue, but if there's archery somewhere,
good for you.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, our time here is up. On behalf of the Chelmsford Rotary Club, who sponsored the program, congratulations on being one of Emerson House's Students of the Month. Chelmsford High Administration is so proud of you, and we wish you the best of the luck this rest of this year.
Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce Dean Christina Mitza, the Dean of Hawthorne House, to introduce her Students of the Month.
Thank you, Principal Murray. So the first Student of the Month for Hawthorne House is Anisha Dantam. Welcome, Anisha.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Great. Anisha is very busy this fall. She is taking a whole load of classes, including AP French, AP Literature and Composition, AP Psychology, AP Calculus BC, AP Physics 1, AP Biology, and Reality Check. I don't know how you have any time to do anything besides that. However, she does. She also is a part of many school activities and clubs here, including the Ecology Club, Science Team, Mentor Program, the Door Painting Project, and is also on our swim team here. So, Anisha, what would you say, you had mentioned that one of the teachers who has had a big impact on you is Dr. Chowdhury. What would you say, of all 4 years that you've been here, that would be the teacher who's had an impact on you? What was her class like for you?
Yes, of course. So I've known Dr. Chowdhury for a pretty long time. So I had her for honors chemistry and AP chemistry in my sophomore and junior year. And then I also knew her since freshman year because that's when I joined Ecology Club. What I find really interesting about her is that she's so dedicated and determined and passionate about like everything that she does. I think she really values like intellectual curiosity in her students, and that really like motivates me to like be the same kind of person, like be really curious about learning about things. And I also think she had some role in like sparking my passion for chemistry, because I just really enjoyed both of her classes. Like I like the way that she taught, and like kind of her teaching style, which is like she really encourages students to like push themselves to their limits and like overcome certain challenges that they find along the way. But yeah, I had a lot of fun in that class, and I think she's an amazing person.
That's great. And can you tell us about the Ecology Club that she runs?
Of course. So like I said before, I joined it in freshman year. And when I joined, we were kind of planning on implementing our composting program, which happened in sophomore year successfully. So we're able to generate about 3 tons of compost per month. And like our goal with that is to reduce like the amount of food waste that we produce in lunches and like turn it into something valuable. We also have a lot of like volunteering opportunities. I volunteered for some events that were organized by the Chelmsford Recycling Committee, like the Hazardous Waste Day and the Zero Waste Day, and like in that I've kind of helped like organize like different types of paint, like acrylic or latex, or like sorting different batteries, and like it was a nice way to learn a little bit more about like what I can dispose and what I can't, and like hazardous waste. We're also hosting like a couple of cleanups where like we invite a couple of students to come and pick up trash around the school.
Great.
This year we're working on a really big project actually, which is to plant 5 trees around our school. And we are planning to like reduce our school's carbon footprint through that.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, I'm looking
Great.
forward to that.
Great. Thank you. I know that you are part of the varsity swim and dive team here.
Yes.
What are you most looking forward to for the swim season this year?
I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun with my team, like pasta dinners, like those are really fun, and a way for our team to bond. I'm also looking forward to our MVCs. I did set a couple of goals for myself this year, so I hope to reach those, and just I just really want to have a good time with my team.
Wow. Well, that sounds like a great plan, and it's a great team as well. You know, great success.
Thank you.
So with that, I want to say on behalf of the Rotary Club and the Chelmsford High administration, congratulations on being one of Hawthorne House's Students of the Month. We're really proud of you and wish you the best of luck the remainder of this year.
Thank you.
And now I turn it back over to Dean Mitza from Hawthorne House to introduce her second Student of the Month.
Thank you, Principal Murray. So the second Student of the Month for Hawthorne House is Akhil Dantam. Welcome, Akhil. Akhil is very busy with his schoolwork as well. He has been taking Intro to Engineering and Design, AP Computer Science, AP Physics, AP Literature and Composition, AP US Government and Politics, AP Calculus, and Reality Check. Can't imagine you have much spare time after getting all that work done. I know that you're also part of the math team here. You want to tell us a little bit about your experience on the math team and what you guys have done in competitions and things like that?
Yeah, of course. I came into freshman year loving math. I was currently in geometry, and I just wanted to expand my knowledge on the area of mathematics. And I didn't know where I was supposed to go. I remember that I was lost trying to find where math team was, and Mr. Merrill kind of took me under his wing. And I mean, I have him as my calc teacher now, so.
Oh, great.
Yeah. In terms of the competitions, I've been doing like the AMC for the past like 3 years. Like it's a very fun competition in the lunchroom. We also do like MML, NEML, which are like New England, Massachusetts-based like math competitions where we go and compete to some schools, or they come to our school to compete.
That's great. Does that run all year long?
Yeah, it does run all
Okay.
year long.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. I know you're on the varsity swim and dive team, and you've had how many meets so far?
The season doesn't start until this winter.
Oh, the
yeah.
winter. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to this winter with your swim and dive team?
Oh, I'm trying to possibly do postseason again. I qualified for sectionals last year with a relay. I'm hoping to possibly get an individual cut this year. It's going to be hard, but I'm up for the challenge. Yeah.
You.
Good. That's great. I know last year you had the honor of being the Hawthorne class marshal, so you were able to walk in, the Hawthorne House class. Could you tell us about that experience a little bit and how you felt?
Yeah, I mean, I was class marshal with my sister, so like it wasn't really a stressful, situation to be in. But yeah, it was fun. I met like a lot of the graduating class. Like I introduced myself to them. They talked about their experiences at the high school, how happy they are to be graduating after like 4 years of hard work. So yeah.
Great. And what are your plans for next year, if you're thinking that far ahead already?
Yeah, so I plan to possibly do engineering, like electrical and computer engineering, and further along my path, possibly aerospace. I love physics, so I want to combine like physics and my love for engineering as well. Yeah.
Okay, great.
SpaceX could use you. Yeah. So, what is it you're looking forward to for the remainder of this year?
Ooh, the remainder of this year. Not getting senioritis, I would say.
That's great.
That's
I like
good.
to hear that.
And also trying to finish up all the college applications. I'm a little behind, so
Hey.
I gotta get going.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. And on behalf of the administration and Rotary Club, congratulations on being one of Hawthorne House's Students of the Month. And wish you the best of luck the remainder of this year.
Yeah, thank
Thank you. Congratulations. This concludes our latest edition of Lions Pride. I want to thank our deans for their thoughtful words and beautiful summaries of each recipient. I would also like to thank the Chelmsford Rotary Club for their unending support of this great program. Congratulations to all of this month's Students of the Month. On behalf of the Chelmsford Rotary and the deans, thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time.